What's up, guys? Welcome to day 19 of Stuck in California until I reach 100,000 subscribers. And I just want to say from the get go that today's video is one you can easily skip, right? That's why I haven't promoted that video on Twitter because most of the videos I have been doing for this 90 days is kind of like I focused on something I want to talk about that is helpful to bringing this change faster. But today I'm going to talk about that how hard this challenge has been, like traveling to all the 50 states within a year. And for most of this challenge, even from starting to until now, I have tried to focus on how important this challenge is or how important to finish this rather than how hard it has been, right? That if I focus a lot on how hard it has been, then it might motivate me. I didn't want to give like energy to that thought, and then it's like if I keep focusing on that, then it might motivate me to stop doing it, right? So rather than always like where your focus goes, energy flows. So for throughout this challenge, I made sure to focus on why I'm doing this, why it is important, rather than mm, uh, focusing on how hard it has been. But today I'm going to talk about how hard it has been, just making an exception just for today. I'll tell you why I'm doing that. But anyways, if you don't know me, my name is Anuj, and I'm traveling to all the 50 states of the United States in order to spread the awareness on discriminations against high-skilled workers based on their country of birth. And right now I'm at my 37th state in California. I have been here for 19 days, and while I was in California, I gave myself this mini challenge that I'm gonna be in California until I reach 100,000 subscribers, because I have been traveling to all the states to spread the awareness to Americans who can vote, who are like not aware on this issue. Even people who are like struggling because of this kind of discrimination, they don't know about this campaign or how deep this issue is. So if less people know about this, then the effect of this campaign would be very less, and if the effect is less, then it's gonna take us forever to bring the change we want to see. And that's why I say that it's better to reach this subscribers sooner than later to bring this change faster. And every day I'm going to talk about something which I have always been wanted to talk about, which can help people either to clear some things, either to motivate them, uh, and in that way like helping to bring this solution faster. But today I'm making an exception. Today I'm going to talk about how hard this challenge has been for a couple of reasons. Maybe number one reason is that for my personal reasons, kind of like in the future, if I wanted to do something which seemed like kind of like impossible, I can look at this video and see that how hard this challenge has been, and still I have been like I was able to overcome all those challenges so far. It's not finished yet, knock on the wood, but so far I was able to overcome those challenges. So yeah, just wanted to keep the record of that, but also if anyone wants to travel to all the 50 states or something like that, I don't know if anyone wants to attend that for this reason or different reason. But if someone decides what kind of challenges they needs to go through, right, that if they decides to travel to all the 50 states within a year or shorter period or maybe longer period, right? So that's why I wanted to record this. uh, Give me a second. I need to check something. Okay, anyways, so by the way, I'm in San Diego area now. So if you are like watching this from San Diego and if you want to hang out or just meet up or join the protests, let me know. Anyways, what was 1 second? So if you want to imagine how difficult this kind of challenges, I'm going to talk about like different things, but sometimes it's like easier if you do it, because like I won't be able to cover all the feelings you get while doing this, or all the small things uh, kind of like you need to go through. But if you want to imagine how uh, kind of like challenging it is, like think about your last vacation you were going and how much planning you needed to do, and then add on top of that that okay, you are gonna protest wherever you are going, and you're gonna record those conversations, you're gonna edit videos on those, and then you're gonna post those videos and keep talking like how to promote all those things, right? So that's one thing. But if you like really want to understand, then like maybe try to organize protest in two states, like wherever you are living, and then the other state, whichever the closest states from where you are living, and then try to organize those two protests. Go to those two protests, try to talk to people, try to record that, try to edit that video and post it on the YouTube. That kind of like really kind of gives you the idea that how much work it's needed. For me personally, like by the time I decided that I wanted to do this campaign, it was kind of like my thought was in December when Eagle Act got like kind of like didn't even came for voting, right? So at that time I was thinking to doing this protest, and then like when I decided that I want to do it, like it's like important that when to do it, right? And I wanted to do it within a year. And first of the thought is that, oh yeah, do you want to do it in the calendar year, because January was right around the corner, and I could have started in January and finished in December. But kind of the challenge with that is that both are winter month, right? That if I start in January, it's really cold, and even when I end that protest in December, it would be like really cold. So like if more people wants to join, they might be hesitant to joining that protest. But also like people on the streets, they might not be very responsive to stop and have a conversation, right? If it is like really cold. So kind of like making that decision that what time of the year I want to do it, and then I decided to start at the beginning of March in the spring. Then once that is decided, like how you're gonna travel to all the 50 states, right? That you have to kind of think about like kind of sacrifices you want to make, right? You need to make like uh, you need to think about all the things I was doing. Like needed to think about all the things I wanted needed to I was doing in my day-to-day life. Like one of the things I talked about improv, right? So if I take on this campaign, then that means that I need to sacrifice the other things I was doing, because this will take most of my time of doing this, right? So do I want to go on trips with friends, or do I want to do this campaign? So those kind of like decision fatigue you need to go through is that you needed to overcome. And then you also need to think in terms of like money, right? That all the travel I have done all throughout this campaign, uh, I have done it with my own money. I haven't asked anyone for money, but I guess some people were generous and donated like $170. That's the total donation or support I have got. Some people think that my channel, he makes some money through YouTube. I'm not sure where they are getting that, but otherwise, like the YouTube, my channel is not monetized. You need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time before your channel gets monetized. that 4,000 is within a year. So it's like a long amount of time people need to watch uh, before your channel gets monetized, and even when it gets monetized, it's not like you start making a lot of money. So it's not like some people think that, oh yeah, because even used to get comment that why he's posting video on the YouTube, like he should post it on Facebook or something, like he wants to make money. But it's like I don't know, like there is some misunderstanding around YouTube that people make a lot of money on YouTube, but that's not the case, right? So, anyways, one thing I needed to think about is that how I'm gonna finance this, how much budget I needed to assign to this campaign, right? And then at one point, I just stopped thinking about money because it was like kind of becoming stressful. Right, so that's like all those like decisions. Even before like starting this campaign, you had to make this decision. Then I decided to start in the March of 2023, March of this year. The first protest I did in Washington D.C. That was kind of very interesting because if you might have seen my video, right, that I'm going to do this protest with a huge sign just by myself, and the people you see at the Washington Mall where I did the protest, it's like crazy amount of people, right? It's like lots and lots of people, and you get all this kind of feelings when you are doing something which you have never done, that oh yeah, you're gonna run into some crazy people who are like kind of against immigration or all that kind of things, right? So like I remember I parked my car, and until you reach that like destination, it's like before it's different, but when you reach that point it's totally different. So when I reached, I was like, do I really wanted to do that? I took like some 15 minutes, and then I went and did it. It went very well. All the people were like kind of like they were minding their own business, and some I got some like good responses as well, that this is like this is wrong, So that was a good start. Then the second protest, or my first state, was in Delaware. Delaware, it was kind of interesting that I even started spring, but even when I went to Delaware, it was like really chilly, and there were like no people to talk to. So these are the kind of like things like you never know that the day you start, or like the day you decide that I'm going to this state, and you don't know what's the weather is gonna be like, right? That you can check a day before, and it might, if it is raining, you might need to change your plan, but it's like you can't change much, right? Because if you keep delaying, then you have 50 states to go. So, and when that kind of weather is there, you might not get that many conversation you wanted to have. So that's kind of another challenge. uh, mm, all right, what are the other things? Now, one of the thing with this challenge is that whenever you are like living in one city, then you know all the things there, that where to eat. Either you can have meals at home, but even if you wanted to go out, you know all the restaurant where you can go, where the kind of food you like. If you need like coffee, you know where to go, right? But then while I'm doing this, because I'm going to 50 different states, it's like every new location I go, I need to figure it out. Especially I'm like vegetarian, so it's like kind of like hard to find meals, right? So, and each state I go, I need to figure it out, that where I'm gonna sleep, where I'm gonna work. That I'm sure you know that I'm maintaining my job. I cannot quit my job and do that, so I have to figure out where I'm gonna work, where I'm gonna sleep, where I'm gonna eat, and that kind of uh, repeats in every single state I go. And then you have like time zone differences as well, and I work Eastern timing, so I had to adjust with time zone as I go in each state. So that's like kind of like a lot of decision can take up your lot of your time, right? And while you another challenge was in the beginning when I started doing it, since you start doing something, then people are there who has been doing this kind of advocacy for a while, and they want you to do uh, like in certain ways, or they want you to focus on different things than like removal of country cat. They're like, someone would be like, oh, just push for not counting dependents, right? So you kind of start having this conversation, and then it's like not just you are doing this, but you need to explain to these people that why you are doing this way, and sometimes they agree, sometimes they don't agree, they don't like it, and it's just like kind of all this explaining you need to do right in the beginning. Now for people I kind of like knows it still, time to time new people join and I need to go through all this explaining, and I try to find time as much as I can to have this kind of conversation, right? All right, what are the other things? Other thing was that, let's say that when I started doing this, uh, I wanted people to join in each state, right? That there were like many reasons for doing this campaign. One of that is that if I not all the people can travel to DC, but if I am like going to like let's say Ohio, I can let people know in Ohio that you can join, and it's like they don't even have to like organize anything or like planning and all that kind of thinking. They don't need to do that. They just need to show up. Once I started doing it, people started telling me that, oh, if you are coming to my state, let me know, I'll join, which is great. I started doing that in some of the states, but the problem is that, right, that if I'm just traveling by myself, my plan can be flexible. I can start the protest at 10 a.m. I can start it at 11 a.m. But once I need to announce it, then I am kind of the organizers, right? So regardless of what happens, I need to be there. So my plans that cannot be flexible. That okay, if I give them date that okay on 10th March we are doing protest in 10 a.m. I need to be there, which is adds extra challenge, and I was willing to do it. But sometimes what happens is that I give them, some people commit them, but at the last moment they have, most of the time this has happened a lot, that they have something come up for whatever reason. And one of the kind of thing is that there are like some people who are like really dedicated to bring this change, but some people are like kind of like commits, and they're like, oh, if I'm not doing anything at all on that day, kind of back in their mind is that if I'm not doing anything at all, or I might go and do it. But usually they don't have plans, but when the event is closer, they might have something else to do, or they would go and do rather, you know. So then you like organize this, you go there, and then there is like no one, or they like just message you that I won't be able to make it. So that was kind of like you need to like process that and then accept that okay, yeah, people has their own things, and then don't let that bother you, and still try to organize or announce as much in advance as you can, so still people who really wants to join, they can join, right? Another kind of challenges I have been facing, it's kind of like with the media, that sometimes like media started calling me, or like I started reaching out to some media channels later, right? So I'll give you two stories of one where I have reached out, and one time when the media has reached out to me, and what kind of things I need to go through. So like let's say that one time I reached out to media that, oh, I'm coming to your state, if you want to cover this event, it would be great. It will help to spread this awareness which this issue needs. And sometimes they like, okay, come to our studio, we'll talk about it, and during the day, right? So I need to take the time off from my job, that I'm gonna be away, while I go and have the conversation with studio. And when I went to that studio, I was expectation that okay, we will talk for a little bit and then they will record. But this kind of like one of the reporter was kind of like crazy, and usually they don't give their opinions, but this one was like their she was like interested in giving a lot of opinions. She was like acting rather than like a journalist rather than like someone who is like a common American. And she gave a lot of opinions, and I tried to explain this issue for an hour, that how bad it is, and she kind of understood, but she wasn't uh, like agreeing at all that this is kind of a discrimination or unfair. And she was like, okay, yeah, I think it's kind of like minor issue, but it's not. And then they like okay, decided to not to do that story, right? So that are the kind of things you need to go through, like taking the time off from the job and then going that. But then rather than like getting anything, a story or something which helps, it was just like a 1 hour of like long conversation. And still it happened, right, that one people now knows more about this thing than otherwise. So I wasn't mad about it now, but at that time it's like very frustrating, right? Then another time this like media reached out to me that, hey, we want to cover your stories. They wanted to record in person, but I was like, okay, I cannot be in this state right now. So they are like, okay, then we will just send you some questions. Uh, you record these videos and send it to us, right? So when they send these questions, I thought about it. Then when I recorded this video, it's like you have to rehearse sometimes, right? That when you are like sending these videos to media, uh, uh, it's like we are like, I'm not like a natural public speaker who can like uh, does this in one single take, right? So there were like many takes, and then I recorded this video, then sent those videos to them, but then it's like they haven't done anything, right? So sometimes they just like stop replying to you. So I'm not sure what happened there, right? But then it just like kind of this kind of things takes on a lot of your time, right? So these are just some of those things, and I'm at my 37 states. The last thing I did, or one of the difficult thing, has been is like going to all these 37 states and while talking to Americans and telling them that this issue is wrong, and I say that they agree. I say that there are like about 1 million people suffering because of this issue, and then they look at my channel or something and they're like, why you only have 1,000 subscribers? It's like you are traveling to all the states. So kind of like I have been looking kind of like a foolish, right? So that was one of the challenge, so that's why I did that challenge uh, of like staying in California until I reach 100,000 subscribers. And that has been challenging as well, right? That this is like 19 days, and still I knew that getting 100,000 would be challenging, but like even reaching like 10,000 is kind of like challenging right now. And I'm kind of like thinking about uh, quitting this challenge and moving on to another state, because the 50 states, I want to finish those 50 states on time regardless, right? So that's the priority. So kind of I'm like thinking about like quitting this challenge of stuck in California. What do you guys think? Let me know. But other than that, yeah, those are most of all the, not most, but those are the things I can remember right now. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Uh, if you, whoever has been subscribing or like sharing this with different people, I really appreciate it. Leave it in the comments, and I'm not sure who's gonna watch this video until end, but like if you have any questions or concerns or like anything, like leave it in the comments. If you have been watching this every day, I appreciate it, and I'm gonna try to continue this and have more conversation. I have been talking to a couple of people to give them the platform to share these stories. So that's in the works. So if you are someone who wants to come on this platform and share your stories or whatever you want to share, which you think that can inspire people, or which can inspire, clarify some of the things, or if you have some ideas that this is if we can do, which will help to bring this change faster, let us know. I would be happy to bring you online and have a conversation, which I have been like talking to a few people already. Depending on their time, we will be doing that soon. So that's in the books, right? On the list. Uh, Davis, yeah, thanks for joining, and yeah, always supporting. So, all right, that's it for today. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.